Okay. Good evening, everyone. I'd like to welcome you to the Otsego City Council meeting. Tonight is Monday, September 9th. Audra, can you have the record show that our city attorney is present, our city planner is absent, our city engineer is present, along with all council members and our assistant city administrator. Absent this evening is our city administrator. At this time, I'll ask you all to join us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Our first item of business this evening is open forum. This is the portion of the meeting where you can come to the podium, state your name and address, and limit comments to 5 minutes or less. Would anyone like to speak at this time?
Mayor and council members, my name is Kenny Reisman. My address is 14248 82nd Street or Circle Northeast. And again, here now for the third time in regards to the culvert and the flow of water across our backyard. First of all, I'd like to start with asking Ron if you would like to correct what you stated before as far as the date of install of the culvert.
I'm not sure exactly what the date of install was of the culvert. The drainage pattern was according to the grading plan of the Wallish Estates and of Heritage Hills, showed the water running through your backyard at that point.
So, Mayor, I just want to set the stage a little bit here because Mr. Reisman has threatened litigation against the city a couple different times. He indicated he's talking to an attorney about suing the city. So after the last meeting, I asked Mr. Reisman to direct comments and questions through me, because normally when there's threatened or pending litigation, you know, the attorneys talk to each other. And I also indicated that he could file any data practices requests with the city that he'd like, and the city would respond to those. But if he's threatening litigation, I'm not comfortable having kind of a free-flowing Q&A here. I'm not saying that Ron has anything to hide. I'm just saying if there's going to be litigation, it should be handled in the context of that litigation. So I don't think that, of course, this is public comment. Mr. Reisman can make any comments he wants to, but I don't think Ron should be put on the spot to answer questions that might potentially be the subject of future litigation.
If I may, I have made no threat. I have mentioned that I have used an attorney in the past. That is far from a threat. If I may, I have some handouts.
Yeah, I mean, it's public comment. You can certainly.
So referring back to my statement that the culvert was illegal, I have in the last 2 weeks discovered that that is not true. So I apologize for that. Culvert is legal and it's fine. And it was installed in 1997, not in 1972, as Ron has told you publicly here and has told me via email. If you look at Exhibit B, this is a screenshot of the Heritage Hills as-built drawings. Now I'll explain what as-builts are, unless everyone can say they know just exactly what they are. As-built drawings are a modification to the original design if there's modifications, additions, or subtractions, they are all indicated on the as-built drawings. And the city engineers require those for their records. I'm not sure if the city has those in those possession, because I didn't check with the city for the as-bills. But I did check with Landform, who has possession of those. They were not the original designer, but they bought the company that did design it. So Landform something has the as-bills, and you can all call them, contact them. They're very helpful. If you'll look at Exhibit B, 1997 is the last date that was on there. 1998 was the last date, but the job was done in 1997, not in 1972. If you will look there about in the middle there, it says 50 feet of 15-inch CMP. That's the culvert. That is in the Heritage Hills development. It is not in the Wallace development, which was done in 72. Now, if you look closely, just below that horizontal line where it says Ochoa, you'll see the drawing of the road that was done in Wallace development. And it terminates prior to the boundary line, south of the boundary line. So there was no roadway to the boundary line, thus no need for a culvert. There was no culvert there in 1972. It was installed in 1997. And also you'll notice on the as-built drawings, just above the bold line that goes left to right horizontally, there's another line parallel to it, a little lighter. Between those two lines is a 20-foot drainage easement extending from the west side of Ochoa all the way to the outlot A to the west, which is not shown on this. It's a pond. That's where this culvert was designed to drain to. And that's where it did drain to when it was done. I am confident of that. However, it has changed since then. The terrain or the grade has changed. If you will turn to Exhibit C. I have drawn my lot there, as you can see, labeled 14248 82nd. And then the horizontal line up about a third of the way down, that's the boundary line. And you'll see some numbers there. Starting on the right, it's called the elevation of the invert, which is where the culvert terminates. In this case, on the west side or the downhill side where the water flows out. That's 942 5/10 feet above sea level. Now the horizontal line, there's the boundary between myself and 8221 Ochoa Avenue Northeast. Above the line, I wrote the elevation of my neighbor's land. And below the line, I wrote the elevation of my land, like this far apart, okay? And you'll notice the difference. And I wrote the difference there. At about 50 feet out, it's 6/10 or about this much of a foot. His line is higher than mine. So originally the land came across like this, kind of level, it's a fairly level, but now it goes to his lot and then steps up. So the water does not go uphill. And you also see that 942.8 is a bigger number than at the invert, 942.5. So the water will not flow across his line. If you move to the left to the 100-foot mark, you'll see an even bigger difference. On his side of the line, it's 943 2/10. And on my side of the line, it's 941.7. They used to both be, I am confident, 941.7. The grade in the drainage easement has changed. It's been filled in. I cannot tell you when. I haven't done that much research, and I don't know if I actually could find it if I tried. But it has been filled in. So then if, let's see. If you turn to Exhibit B, so I'll step back one thing on D1. When I told you, the council, that you, the council, spend the money or you don't spend the money, I was referring to this email from Ron Wagner stating who made that decision, and it was not the council. So that's why I made that statement. If there was something different, more or less, I am not knowledge of that, but that is why I made the statement that the mayor and the other three parties involved made that decision and then told the rest of the council. On D2 there, Ron has been insistent that the culvert was installed in 1972. And I would encourage all of you to call Landform and ask them when that culvert was installed. And they will tell you, I'm sure, 1997. So I think it's safe to assume that when the culvert was placed there by Heritage Hills, they ensured that the water would flow to the west down their drainage easement that they created at that time. Now, if you turn to page D3, I copied and pasted from the Minnesota Public Drainage Manual. And you can read that at your leisure, which obligates the Drainage Authority, which I think is the city, to maintain or make sure it is maintained. The city has a duty and an obligation to make sure all the drainage easements within the city are functioning properly to allow the free and unobstructed flow of water. Thank you for your time, unless you have any questions.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, this is still open forum. Would anyone else like to speak at this time? Okay, we'll close the open forum and move on to item 2 to consider our agenda for approval. Does anyone have anything that they would like to add or delete at this time?
Madam Mayor,
Yes, Ryan.
I move to approve the agenda as written.
Second.
Motion by Ryan, seconded by Tina. Is there any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Moving on to item 3, our consent agenda. A motion would be in order.
Madam Mayor,
Ms. Ryan,
I move to approve the consent agenda as written.
there's a second.
Second.
Motion by Ryan, seconded by Jeff. Is there any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Moving on to city council reports and updates. Does anyone have anything? Right. Looking both sides. Moving on to staff reports and updates. Sabrina.
Thank you, Mayor. I have no updates for you tonight.
All right. Audra.
Thank you, Mayor. Just to let everybody know that absentee voting starts next Friday on September 20th. So ballots will be sent out at that time.
Thank you. Dave.
No updates, thanks, Mayor.
All right. Ron.
Thank you, Mayor. The street projects are pretty much complete. They are finishing up the striping. It's about all that's left to be completed on those, and you'll see some, there's one pay estimate on here tonight. There'll be some more on the near future. Other than that, I am opening bids for the Otsego Creek restoration project. Because of the way the council meeting set up, there's a 3-week gap between the second meeting in September and then the first meeting in October. And I requesting if the council could have a special meeting, maybe September 30th, which would be on your regular Monday, just to accept it. It would give me the opportunity to tell the contractors that it would potentially be awarded on that night and give, up to 2 more weeks of construction time to those contractors that might be bidding on this, and to get it completed by December 15th.
So it's the
Otherwise,
fifth
they're trying
Monday.
to get this work done. And it also pushes the construction to an even colder time of the year. If we can get them out there in, say, mid-October, it makes a big difference versus starting out November 1st, weather-wise and time-wise. Not a very big project. I think they can get it done, but at this point, every day makes a difference. I'm not exactly sure if September 30th is.
It is.
It
It's
is.
it's the fifth Monday.
Yes. And that's what caused the problems that 5th Monday.
Sure,
Then
that makes sense.
Would that be a 6 o'clock, 6 PM meeting?
Well, it's just gonna be to be awarding.
it would just be the
Yeah.
one item that would be on there. And I went over this with Adam, and he asked me to just request from the council if they wish to have that.
What
meeting.
time could people be here?
That's what I was asking, if it's 6, or what do you guys think?
5:30?
Just get in, get out. Okay,
If
5:30.
Any,
think so.
does that work?
Yeah.
You know, you're looking,
Checking.
yeah,
Sorry.
that's okay.
1,000 calendars to check.
Nope, that's fine.
That works.
Thank you.
All right, so I will make a motion to call for. I guess we're technically calling it a special meeting. Special meeting for September 30th at 5:30.
Second.
Motion by Jessica, seconded by Brittany. Is there any discussion? Just writing this down, make sure we don't forget. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Anything else, Ron?
Nope.
Okay. Wright County.
I've got-
Oh, all right.
Hi.
Hi. We're happy to have you. All right, then if we have nothing else, then a motion to adjourn would be in order.
Madam Mayor,
Oh, I'm sorry.
I was just going to compliment you, Ron. I've had several calls just with regards to the streets and how nice they are. So I was to pass along the thank you.
Yeah, our construction observers has received many, many comments.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Looks good.
very
In
nice.
favor of how the projects turned out.
Yes, very nice.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Second.
Yeah.
Okay, motion by Tina, seconded by Jeff. Is there any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. The meeting is ended. Thank you all for attending.